WNBA. Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm literally in a WNBA. Like, I have an Indiana jersey on. Like, and I'm wearing number 3. Like, this is crazy to me. Like, I feel like I'm dreaming, literally dreaming. Every day I come to training camp and I see like Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham. Like, I look at these girls like I watch these girls in college. Like, I'm literally playing with these girls. Like, it's crazy, honestly. It's like a surreal moment, honestly. That's what it's like.
That right there is the moment reality hit. Every day I wake up, I'm like, I'm in the WNBA, like this is crazy. And you can see it in her eyes. This isn't rehearsed media training, this is genuine disbelief from someone who went from college basketball to the 3rd overall pick in a matter of weeks. But what's fascinating isn't just that Raven Johnson made it to the league, it's where she landed and who she's learning from.
It's actually very exciting and it's fun to learn from the vets here. They definitely make sure I get the plays. I mean, yesterday they were just throwing plays at me, and I'm like, oh gosh, like, geez, they run a lot of plays. But Caitlin Clark, she was helping me through all the hard times. She was helping me. Like, I was like, what do I do here? Or like, where should I cut? Like, I was asking her a lot of questions, and I think, you know, with being a rookie and having a vet like that, you should ask questions that you want to know. And I think I asked her probably like 1,000 questions yesterday. So.
Listen to how she describes that first practice. Yesterday they were just throwing plays at me and I'm like, oh gosh, like, geez, they run a lot of plays. This is a player who won a national championship at South Carolina under Dawn Staley, one of the most demanding coaches in basketball, and she's still overwhelmed by the pace. But notice who she immediately mentions as her guide through the chaos. Caitlin Clark. That's not a throwaway comment, that's significant. Because what we're watching unfold in Indiana isn't just another rookie class joining a WNBA team. This is a complete cultural shift happening in real time, built around players who are rewriting what rookie impact looks like in this league.
How much that since you've been in this building, have you talked about what happened in 2023?
No, we haven't. I think that's in the past, honestly. We're teammates now, and we have one goal. That's to win a championship. And, you know, I'm coming in. I want to win a championship, too, and I'm pretty sure that's her main goal, too. So whatever I can do to help win a championship, that's the goal right now.
Now, this moment right here reveals something most people missed during draft night coverage. A lot of talk on social media about you and Tatum being teammates in light of what happened in 2023. The reporters asking about beef, about history, about a collision in college that got people talking. And watch Raven's response. She shuts it down immediately. No, we haven't. I think that's in the past. We're teammates now and we have one goal. But here's what makes that answer more than just good media training. Raven Johnson isn't some late second-round pick grateful to make a roster. She went 10th overall to a team that made the semifinals last season. She has leverage, she has options, and she's choosing to focus on winning instead of drama. That mindset didn't come from nowhere.
Oh, the standard is high. I mean, coming from a program like South Carolina, the standard was high there, but coming here, I was like, this is like me being at South Carolina. Like, the standard is so high, they want to win the national championship. I know they were talking about last season. It was like little mistakes that they did to get over that hump of winning, going over the aces. They were like talking about that in the locker room, and I was like, in my head, I was like, wow, it is about the little things. The coach is talking about discipline, remembering like little things, rebounding, boxing out, things like that. So I was like, wow, this sounds like Coach Staley. Like, she always talk about, it's always about the little things and details to win a national championship.
This is where it gets interesting. The standard is high. Coming from a program like South Carolina, the standard was high there, but coming here, I was like, this is like me being at South Carolina. Think about what she's actually saying. She played for Dawn Staley. She won a national championship in April 2024, and she's comparing the Indiana Fever's practice intensity to that program. That's not normal for WNBA rookies. Usually there's an adjustment period where players talk about the speed of the game, the physicality, how different it is from college. Raven's saying the opposite. She's saying the Fever's standards match the most dominant program in women's college basketball. And then she drops this detail. They were talking about last season, like little mistakes that they did to get over that hump of winning, going over the aces. The Las Vegas Aces, two-time defending champions. The Fever lost to them in the semifinals. And instead of celebrating making the Final Four, they're dissecting what went wrong. That's championship culture. That's what separates teams that are happy to be there from teams that expect to win it all.
And I'm super excited for the opportunity. I'm grateful that they even considered me to be in that position. So I think I'm just taking it one day at a time and really leading into the process.
Scott? Do you have any inclinations that people were interested in you during the draft and all of that, and what was that like?
Yeah, I did. We had a couple of Zooms with them. It kind of was just a waiting game and seeing where I was going to go. But again, like I said, I think I'm just super excited for this opportunity and taking it day by day.
How the first couple days of camp compared to your expectations of what the program will be like?
Now let's talk about the other rookie who's been turning heads. Justin Pascott. Drafted in the 3rd round, signed to a training camp contract, what she calls a red shirt for rookies. On paper, she's a long shot to make the roster, but watch how she carries herself in that interview. There's zero doubt, zero hesitation. I'm super excited for the opportunity. I'm grateful they even considered me to be in that position. And here's the detail that matters. We had a couple of Zooms with them. It kind of was just a waiting game. The Fever actively recruited her. They didn't just take whoever was available in the third round. They evaluated her. They Zoomed with her multiple times. They made her a priority for a training camp contract. That tells you everything about how this front office is operating right now.
It's anything I'm not used to. I mean, going into college, transitioning and stuff like that, I think it's just super fast-paced, but I love it. I mean, the girls are super welcoming, and everyone is it's a very family-oriented program, so I'm super excited.
Two other SEC rookies. How do you guys want?
Listen to how she describes the pace. It's very fast-paced, like learning-wise. I don't think it's anything I'm not used to. Going into college, transitioning and stuff like that. Super fast pace, but I love it. The girls are super welcoming, and everyone is it's a very family-oriented program. Family-oriented. That phrase keeps coming up with these Fever rookies, and it's not corporate speak. You can hear it in how they talk about each other, how they describe the locker room, how they approach competition. But there's something else happening here that's easy to miss if you're not paying attention.
Three of us just want to win, so being around winners is important.
Definitely.
Because of your height, have there been times where teams forget about you as an outside shooter? Think you're going to be in the paint?
The reporter asks about playing with Raven and another South Carolina player. 3 former Gamecocks on the same WNBA roster. And Justin's answer is perfect. I think it's great. We both are in a competitive league, and I think at the end of the day, all 3 of us just want to win. No mention of college loyalty, no talking about South Carolina connections, just winning. That's the culture Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston built last season, and these rookies are walking into it fully formed. They're not trying to establish themselves as individuals first. They're buying into a system that's already working.
You know, like your standard is perfection.
Honestly, I was telling my mom this, 2 days ago. I let go, let God. I let God control everything, honestly. I used to, my sophomore, junior year, I used to stress about everything. Every little mistake I did, I used to stress about it, but now I just let go, let God. And if you make a mistake, just try to, don't dwell on those mistakes. Try to make it better. So I let go, let God. That's my motto, honestly.
But here's where the Raven Johnson story gets really interesting. I let go, let God. I used to, my sophomore, junior, I used to stress about everything. Every little mistake I did, I used to stress about it. But now I just let go, let God. If you make a mistake, just try to don't dwell on those states. That's not just personal growth. That's the exact mentality you need to succeed next to Caitlin Clark. Because if you've watched the Fever play, you know Caitlin's going to take risks. She's going to throw passes that shouldn't work. She's going to attempt shots that make coaches nervous. And if you're playing with her, you can't be the person who's stressed about every mistake. You have to match her confidence. Raven learned that at South Carolina. Dawn Staley doesn't coach players who second-guess themselves. And now she's applying that same approach in Indiana, except instead of playing for a college coach, she's learning from a player who just had the most watched rookie season in WNBA history.
Zooms with a lot of teams. I honestly did not know where I was going. I was nervous at the table. I was like, I don't know what team's gonna pick me. But then my agent, they texted me before Indiana, the pick was coming up, and I was like, oh, they finna pick me, and I was excited. I was like, 10th pick, I was shocked.
Now check out this moment. The reporter asks about draft night. Yeah, so I got on the zones with a lot of teams. I honestly did not know where I was going. I was nervous at the table, but then my agent, they texted me before Indiana, the pick was coming up, and I was like, oh, they've been picking me. She knew 30 seconds before it was announced. That's how draft night works for most players. You get a heads up from your agent right before your name is called. But what's significant is that she had Zooms with multiple teams and still didn't know. The 10th pick isn't a guaranteed spot. Teams are evaluating, comparing, making last-minute decisions, and the Fever chose her. They chose a defensive-minded point guard who won a national championship playing alongside Camila Cardoso, another physical post presence. They chose someone who's comfortable not being the primary ball handler. They chose culture fit over raw talent. That's intentional roster construction.
Oh, it was good. I got my hair and makeup done, so I look good.
Now that you've been, 3 days in the camp or a little bit more, how is the feel? How is the acclimation kind of coming along as opposed to that first day?
With a core of Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell, they're already a playoff team. Add Raven Johnson's defense and playmaking, plus depth pieces like Justin Pascott, who can shoot when called upon, and suddenly, you're looking at a roster that can compete with anyone. The Aces are still the standard, the Liberty are still stacked, but the Fever aren't trying to catch up anymore. They're building something sustainable, and that's what makes these rookie interviews so significant. This isn't hype. This isn't media training. These are players who genuinely believe they're joining a championship-caliber organization, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to contribute to that goal. Whether it's asking 1,000 questions, accepting a training camp contract, or putting past college rivalries aside for team success, the question now is whether the rest of the league is paying attention, because if they're not, they're going to wake up in 2 years wondering how the Fever went from lottery team to dynasty. And the answer will be simple. They built a culture that attracts the right kind of players, and those players bought in completely from day one. So what do you think? Are the Fever legitimate championship contenders this season, or do they still need another year to develop? And which rookie do you think has a better chance of making an immediate impact? Raven Johnson with her defensive intensity and playmaking, or Justin Pascott with her shooting and basketball IQ? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and let's see if Indiana can turn this potential into a championship run.